Hi, this is Shay Tilton, Business Development Manager with Cornerstone Billing Solutions. In this video, we'll review the Cornerstone Billing Solutions mobile app, specifically for how technicians can use it in the field to manage, create, and complete jobs. We start by logging into the app, which they'll use their username and password provided by Cornerstone to log into, and we get to our main dashboard. On our dashboard, we have our login at the top for our time card. That time card is your 9 to 5 and does not tie to any specific job. However, in the specific jobs, as you will see, there are clock in and clock outs to track labor on those work orders. Below that, we do have our jobs for the day. They are color coded between service tickets and appointments. Our first one being a service ticket, where I can see the symbol for it, the ticket number of 3477, the name, time, account number, and address. I also can get directions to the site by clicking on the map in the lower right corner. And to open the service ticket, I click the arrow above that. Below that ticket are my 2 appointments, walkthroughs for the day from 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. And same idea. I have a symbol to tell me it is an appointment. It is color coded. I get an account number, address, map to the location, and an ability to open the appointment. In the upper left corner, we do have a hamburger with more information. Below our dashboard is the calendar, where a technician can open up their service calendar and see jobs throughout the week, not just today. In this case, they have several different appointments and work orders to complete throughout the week. They can also look at it through a week to see their availability, as they can create work orders in the field through here or be updated directly through the office. And this allows them to see when they can make a job if needed. They also have a month view if they're more comfortable to look at their work day by day. And again, I can see address, name, time of the job, map to the site, and an ability to open it even if it is on a different day. Depending on permissions, your technician can also look up additional items such as locations of work orders in certain towns, certain service codes, looked up unassigned work orders, unscheduled work orders, specific ticket types, or even look at all technicians if they wanted to see the other jobs out there. This gives a huge advantage to technicians in the field who are looking to pick up other jobs or who need help on jobs, and they can assign their coworkers to help them. Outside of the calendar, we do have the ability to review customers. Within here, you can search for current customers in the database or even create prospects for sales out in the field. This video will focus today only on service work, and you can review creating a prospect, creating and accepting proposals in a separate video. If we click the search button, we can go ahead and search by the last name of the customer. In this case, we'll do Ross. I can also look for different statuses. It says client, but I could also look for prospect, debt account, etc. Or I could specify if this is a residential or commercial account. Once I click search, I instantly get a list of all my customers with the last name Ross or the name Ross within the account itself, as you'll see at the bottom for Ross Construction. I can see the account number, the address, a map to the site, and I am able to open up more details with that arrow. If we click on Ross Construction, I can go ahead and see account numbers, addresses, directions to site, cross streets, phone numbers, which are callable and textable through the mobile app, any balance that may be due, their current monthly charges for their recurring, the central station and equipment they're using, any special service instructions they may have. On top of this, if I go to the kebab in the upper right, I'm also able to create support notes, create service tickets, appointments, view service history, take payment, as well as review equipment installed and the zone list. Where this becomes advantageous for a technician is if they are on call and have to do service work late at night or on a weekend. They're able to simply look up the customer, create the service ticket, add service requested, performed, time cards, inventory, invoice, and bill a customer all through the mobile app. And they also have access to see who's been there in the past and what may be going on. They truly can do soup to nuts work through the mobile app without ever having to log into the desktop software or having to worry about being on call and having to manually handwrite all of this information down to create a work order and an invoice at a later date. It can all be done in real time. If we get back to the dashboard and go ahead and click into our Ross Construction, our service job from 8 to noon today, We'll see that all information that is needed to complete the work is located right here on the service ticket. At the very top, you have a clock in, clock out. That's to track your labor hours on the job. It'll default to the current time, 11:08 a.m. in my case, and I can choose the category for service. I could even add in if this is overtime and if I have starting mileage if we're tracking drive time. Now that I'm clocked in, below that is all the information for the work order. So I do have my ticket number, my technicians that are assigned to this job, start and end time, service code, PO reference, who it was requested by, our dispatch status, and once we complete the job, we'll have a date completed. My service item button will allow me to see what parts are used on this job or what needs to be used, including part ID, description, quantity, and total cost. Depending on user defaults, we can set cost to be on or off, for example. Everything is user defined. If I want to edit these, I simply can click the pen and paper in the upper right corner and add things like changing the price, changing the quantity, or adding any notes. If I need to add additional items to the service work, I can go to add item. I can look up my truck that the parts are on since I am in the field, and I can search by part ID. And for example, I have several different parts here on my truck. Let's say I wanted to add one of these smoke detectors. I go ahead and simply open it up, click save, and now that's added to my parts list. If we scroll down, we can see that it's there. You also have the ability to add general text with a price. So if it is an item that is not normally on a truck or a last minute addition, you can manually add text and price to it. Going back to the ticket, I also have my checklist below my service items, which can be mandatory or optional depending on your setup for your company. But it gives me items that I need to complete before I can even close this ticket out. So did I confirm via text or email, which I can do through the app? Did I replace the faulty sensors? Did I test the system? And did I invoice the payment? And by clicking yes, I can save all of that, which will allow me to complete the ticket if it was a required item. You'll also see that once the checklist is complete, it is identified by a green check mark. Below the key work there, I do have some customer information. Next to customer information, I have a button to email the customer as well as get directions to the site. I do have their contacts and phone numbers, which are callable and textable. So if I went and go ahead and click on the text message, I can set default phrases, for example, letting Bob Ross know that I'm on the way to the job, and I can click send text to get him that message. Those text messages can be replied to a single email or phone number, so the customer does have the ability to respond if necessary. Below that, I have central station information, account number, and balance due, so that you can take payment in the field before you begin work if your customer does currently have open balances. Finally, I have what's requested, any ticket notes, any internal notes, special service instructions, directions to the site, full appointment service history, that if we click in, we can see anything that's been going on with this customer when it was completed. And opening one up will even give you more details about the technician who installed it, the dispatch status, the service performed, and the completed date. And finally, below that, we do have an ability to add a photo. These photos do save into the desktop software, both on the work order and the customer record. So you always have those images to refer to on any future work orders that you may need them. All of this information is editable at the very top with the pen and paper on the right side. So if you needed to, for example, add a technician, you can do that. If you needed to change the service code, maybe it's to say complete as we complete the job. You can add in your service performed, whether you manually type it or use your talk to text feature. New fire alarm sensors installed, service complete. I can also update any ticket notes or internal notes. We'll let that save. And finally, the kebab in the upper right allows you to do items such as look at the customer account. If we click on that, it will pull up the customer details we reviewed earlier. So you always have access to that customer account. I can add the photo up here. I can text the customer. I can view the equipment list. I can view the zone list for the zones that are there. I can review any documents. I can take signatures upon completion of the job, and that will be stored in the office software so that you know that they agreed to the work that has been completed. I can generate an invoice, which we'll do in one moment. I can take payment in the field. I can also add a support note or an additional service ticket. If I come across the job and realize there's more work to be done that can't be done today, I can create an additional service ticket. To complete this job, all I need to do is simply clock out, add in any information such as starting mileage, miles, minutes, and notes. And now I can click complete, completing this job for today. Now that it has been completed, I can go ahead and invoice in the field and take payment. If I go back to my kebab and click invoice, it will allow me to review the date that the ticket is, as well as choose different billing options, several different ones here. We'll leave it at 100% in this case, but if it is a job that you're doing 50 upon completion or 50 upon scheduling, 50 upon completion progress billing, you can do that as well. In just a few moments, it will easily create the invoice, put it on the screen, and give your technician the ability to email it. So at the very top, they now can email the customer a copy of this invoice, as well as review it with them in real time down here, go through every single item, any discounts, any labor costs, and show a total cost at the bottom of what's due today. Once this is completed, they also can go to the Alarm Pay portal, which takes them to the site alarmpayments.com, and they can take payment in the field in real time. They simply have to do make payment, select on the invoice they wish to pay, and put in the card information. Now that it's all complete, they simply can exit out of the ticket. You will see it removes itself from the day, so they will always see what is open and what is complete and not what is completed. If they do want to review it, they simply need to go to their calendar and they're able to see their jobs. If we go to the weekly one here, or if we go to the monthly one here and let it load, we'll be able to see the job as well as the checkbox indicating that it is complete. Going back to the dashboard, if they were clocked in, as we can see for the day summary, and it is the end of the day, they are able to clock out to track that as well. This has been a review of the service module part of our mobile app. Again, if you are looking to see any of the proposal tools, creating prospects, creating quotes, and accepting quotes, that will be in a separate video, but this app can do everything it needs to for both your technicians and your salespeople in the field. If you'd like an in-depth personal demo, you can reach our sales department at 224-577-1197 or email info@alarmbills.com. My name is Shay Tilton, Business Development Manager here at Cornerstone Billing Solutions, and I thank you for the time and the review of our mobile app, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.